Hello, welcome back to the channel. 17 suspects, believed to be all foreign nationals, have been busted working in an illegal factory. This case has raised a lot of questions about illegal labor practices, immigration control, and the exploitation of desperate workers. Please make sure you stay until the end so you can see the sources and try to verify the news for yourself. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that button so you don't miss our updates. The bust happened after police received information from community members who had noticed suspicious activity at a building that was disguised as a normal small business. At first glance, nobody would have thought much about it. But the strange hours, the heavy movement inside, and the lack of any clear signage made people start to wonder what was really going on. Residents later tipped off the authorities, and after a short investigation, police moved in and raided the factory. What they found shocked even the officers themselves. 17 individuals were discovered inside, all believed to be foreign nationals, and none of them had the proper documentation to be working in South Africa. The factory itself was running as a hidden production site, with machinery and materials that pointed to large-scale illegal manufacturing. Some reports suggest it could have been used to produce counterfeit goods, while others say it was a front for labor exploitation. Either way, it was not registered, it was not inspected, and it was definitely operating outside of South African law. The conditions inside were reported to be terrible. Workers were cramped into unsafe spaces, with no proper ventilation or safety standards. Some of them had been sleeping in the same building they worked in, and residents nearby said that they hardly ever saw the workers outside during the day. This shows how hidden these illegal operations can be, and how easy it is for them to exploit vulnerable people. Now, this is not the first time such a thing has happened in South Africa. In fact, illegal factories and workshops using undocumented workers have been uncovered multiple times across the country. Just recently, there were cases in Durban, Johannesburg, and KwaZulu-Natal where dozens or even hundreds of undocumented foreigners were found working in unsafe and illegal conditions. Each time, the pattern is the same: desperate individuals seeking work, recruited into factories by unscrupulous operators who know they can avoid paying proper wages, avoid inspections, and avoid following the rules that legal businesses must comply with. The 17 suspects from this latest bust are now in custody, and investigations are continuing to identify who was running the operation. Police say they are following leads on possible syndicate connections, because it is rare for a factory like this to operate alone. Usually there are bigger networks that coordinate supply, distribution, and recruitment of labor. That is why authorities believe this case could be linked to other illegal operations. This also raises the bigger question of how many more such factories are still hidden around the country. Every time one is discovered, people realize just how many illegal activities can slip through the cracks. South Africa has thousands of abandoned buildings and neglected industrial spaces that are perfect hiding spots for illegal workshops. Without constant monitoring, they can be converted into secret factories almost overnight. The economic damage of these operations cannot be ignored. Legal businesses are forced to compete with illegal factories that don't pay taxes, don't comply with labor laws, and don't spend money on safety standards. That makes it almost impossible for honest businesses to survive. On top of that, the state loses revenue that could have gone into public services like healthcare, education, and infrastructure. At a time when South Africa is struggling with unemployment and poverty, every rand lost to illegal operations makes things harder for the whole country. Communities are also affected in other ways. Illegal factories often create a ripple effect of crime in the surrounding area. Power is often stolen from nearby lines, creating dangerous illegal connections that can cause fires and blackouts. The people working inside are often exploited, and in some cases, even trafficked. And the goods that come out of these places can be dangerous for consumers, especially if they include counterfeit food, alcohol, or medicines. It is no wonder that residents celebrated when this particular factory was shut down. For many people living near it, the closure means less fear, less noise at strange hours, and a feeling that the authorities are finally paying attention to their concerns. At the same time, there is frustration that it took so long to deal with the problem, since some residents claim they had been reporting strange activity for months before any action was taken. The suspects will now go through legal processes, and many of them are expected to face deportation. Police have said they are still looking for the main operator or owner of the factory, who may have escaped before the raid. If caught, that person could face charges ranging from labor law violations to tax evasion and possibly even human trafficking, depending on what evidence comes out of the investigation. This case also serves as a wake-up call for South Africa to strengthen border controls, improve workplace inspections, and take community reports more seriously. Many of these illegal operations survive because they know how slow the system can be, and they count on that delay to keep running as long as possible. The only way to stop them is through faster response times, tougher penalties, and real cooperation between police, immigration, and labor authorities. For ordinary South Africans, the question remains, how many of these illegal factories are out there, and how many more people are being exploited in this way? Some say the number could be in the hundreds, hidden across industrial areas and small towns. And until they're exposed, they will keep draining resources and putting people in danger. It is not an easy issue to solve, because behind every illegal worker there is often a human story of poverty, desperation, and lack of opportunities back home. Many of the people working in such factories did not come to South Africa with bad intentions. They came because they were hungry, jobless, and desperate. But once they are inside the system of illegal work, they become part of a cycle that hurts South Africa's economy and undermines its laws. That is why it is so important to go after the factory owners and operators who exploit this desperation for profit. At the end of the day, the bust of these 17 suspects is both a victory and a reminder. A victory because one more illegal operation has been stopped, but a reminder because many more are likely still running in secret. Remember, all images used here are for illustration purposes only. The news sources for today's report include SABC News, The Citizen, News 24, and Eyewitness News.